Weekly vlog number 1. That's right. It's not without a gaming computer because I finally got my new computer up and running. It's been a lot of hassles. I'm gonna go ahead and explain that after I show you this thing though. Holy crap, it's seriously been a lot of trouble. Not my greatest experience with Nvidia. So anyways, I shall remove my hand from the camera and you shall see awesome. Awesome. Quit, Rock. Licking your cone. So, alright. Let me go ahead and show you here. So, I unplugged the fish tank stuff. So, the only thing making sound in here right now is this computer. Can you hear it? Can you hear it? It's silent. It's amazingly silent. The loudest it will get is when I'm gaming and I turn the rear exhaust fan up all the way. That's as loud as it will be. It's so silent. It's awesome. The hottest point in the case, I'll show in there in a sec. Hottest point in the case of the air so far, with the fan all the way up, peaks at about 93, but it stays around an average of 92.5 degrees Fahrenheit. Other points, like the hard drive area, that's the only other spot I have sensors at, quite rock, is between hard drives and the power supply. It stays around 71 to 76 degrees Fahrenheit, so inside the case. So that's pretty good. The temperatures of the graphics cards. The secondary one peaks at 59 degrees Celsius. It runs an average of 55 degrees Celsius. And the primary card runs 48 degrees Celsius average and peaks at 51 degrees Celsius. And the CPU so far hasn't gone over, it's been under 50 degrees Celsius so far. But I haven't been able to really test that on anything that's all that demanding out of it. So you can see that's cycling there. I can change that to Celsius if I want. Leave it on Fahrenheit. That is the front panel fans here. Running through the single controller. This fan controller I do not actually suggest getting. It's got some weird issue. It gets really hot to the touch and everything, which is odd. And when I have the front panel fans turned all the way down, they're not right now. When they are, they're down around 600 RPMs. But when they are all the way down there, what this fan controller will do sometimes is it will lose signal to the tachometer of the fan, and it will start beeping annoyingly. And it'll say 0 when the fans are still actually running. So I leave it up at 800 and it doesn't beep. That F2 is the fans on the radiator sandwich. I'll show that in a minute too. And that's the rear exhaust right now. Rear exhaust is a smaller fan than the radiator ones. I don't remember what I got in the front. I guess the front might actually be 120 millimeter. I think only the radiator ones are 140. So whatever. Set that back to auto. And actually, that's 0 because I don't have anything plugged into the fourth control yet. Down here is the flow meter for the pump and reservoir, the liquid flow meter, whatever. It's at 1.5 liters per minute. When the liquid is cold, like when I get up and temperatures on my computer are around 15 degrees Celsius, and it takes about an hour for them to get up to 25 degrees Celsius, then they idle between 25 to 30 degrees Celsius until I actually do something. That's for all graphics cards and CPU though. They all run at that temperature. But yeah, when it's that cold, then that is at 1.2 liters per minute. But it's actually really quiet. And flow rate isn't really going to matter a whole lot for temperatures. And I'm getting great temperatures anyways, so I want the silence. So there's the front of the case. Let's go up here. saving the inside for last here. Back here, let me go around here. You can see, yeah, it's a fan. It's pretty cool. The pump and reservoir here is being held up by a couple screws right here. I know it's dark in here. I didn't turn on my kitchen light. A couple screws up there. And most of it has actually been held up by Velcro, but I put those 2 screws just in case the adhesive of the Velcro fails or the Velcro itself fails. And when the Velcro, when I was trying to move that around and stuff, the Velcro is actually stronger than the adhesive, and I accidentally almost pulled the adhesive off of the plexi window here. So anyways, yeah, this actually worked out, and you can see there are no zip ties on this. So what I did, let me show you here real quick. There's a screw right here at the top of my fingernail, and a screw underneath. So what I did is these bottom fans, I attached to this bottom radiator first by sliding a little Allen wrench through the top here, slipping this in just through this area where my finger is going at, and just tightening them on there, and then holding up this top radiator, holding it in place and everything, are 2 screws. So there's one, I had to tighten these and put them in and everything by hand. I could not fit a tool in there, so I had to do this by hand, but they're still pretty tight because, you know, freakish thumb muscles and stuff. So yeah, there's a screw there on this corner, and the other corner over where I can't really show, but oh yeah, I can. You can see it right up there above, or near my finger, right in front of my finger. So over there. And I had to tighten those by hand. So, down here, let me get my flashlight too. Even though there are lights on in the case, there's still some areas in the case where you can't really see because the light is at the top. So anyways, alright, this is the inside of the case. Yes, the XSPC Race Storm water block is in there. 32 gig RAM, using the i7-4930K CPU. So that is DDR3 RAM, not DDR4. Started building this before DDR4 was even announced. I started getting parts for this computer before my old computer. The last one, the one that's dead, before it died. I'm calling it my old computer now. You can see the EVGA Hydro Copper GTX 980 that I did an unboxing video of. Yes, it does have LEDs. It does not have blue. Someone commented saying it had blue LEDs in it on some point, but no, it is just white. And actually the blue in there, I decided to use that, and it actually works kind of well in this color. I didn't think the red and blue would actually work well together, but it works fine. This thing here that you see moving is the flow sensor for the flow meter. So that's kind of neat. And then down here, let me get the flashlight here off the top of my computer. So down here, you can see the graphics card hooked up with the SLI bridge. Now, that actually did come with my motherboard. I didn't think the one that came with my motherboard was long enough, but it was. And the plexi, or the acrylic window on here gathers dust super easily. I've wiped it off every day since I got this thing up and running, and I just gave up on it. But yeah, you can see I got the one, I did the water block attaching the cooling block swap, whatever, on down here beneath the hydro copper. Underneath, you can see the tubing lead, and it goes over to that. So what that is, if I can show properly, you can see a tube going there. There's actually just a plug at the end of that red tube, you can see. I can't really show the plug without taking off the side panel. I don't really want to take off the side panel. But yeah, there's just a plug, and that's so I can drain this. It's just using distilled water with a corrosion inhibitor, and on this radiator, the bottom radiator, over on the side where liquid goes up into that tubing there, I put a silver kill coil, so all the water has to flow over the kill coil. And it's just a full copper radiator. Inside it's copper and everything, so there's no worry about it touching nickel. I thought about putting it in this little square 4-way pass-through, but that is nickel plated, so I was like, yeah, screw that. I kind of forgot it was nickel plated when I originally put the silver kill coil in there, and then I take it back out. I was like, oh shit, that's not good. Because even if I have corrosion inhibitor in there, which I do have a corrosion inhibitor in this thing, even with that, if the metal was making direct contact with the other metal, then corrosion inhibitor isn't going to help anything. At least I think. I didn't actually look up how corrosion inhibitors work or anything. Someone can explain that if they want. I don't really care how it works, as long as it works. And, yeah. So yeah, that's the system. It's freaking, man, it's amazing. Yeah, there are 3 hard drives in here right now. I'm not going to put a 4th hard drive in. I was going to, but damn, the wire management on this, I know it still looks a little bit like a mess, but it's really not. All the wire management is being done through the back. Try and show you up there. Yeah, there's an LED strip hanging on just inside the lip there. You can see wires coming in from behind the case up there, coming in from over here. They're all wiring in to the other side of the case down there. And it looks like a mess because of the wires going to the graphics cards and to the USB add-on card, because I wanted more USB 3. And that also allowed me to hook up the USB 3 on the front panel there. Because the USB at the mid board of my motherboard is only 2.0, because this is just the regular version of the P9X79 motherboard. The Pro version was out of stock. The Pro version has, if I remember right, it has USB 3.0 at mid board, but that was something I overlooked when I ordered because I got impatient and I was like, oh shit, I just screwed up. Oh well, too late now. But USB add-on card works fine because my CPU actually has 40 PCIe lane support. So 2 graphics cards in that, I'm only using 33 of 40 lanes it has support for, so graphics cards aren't getting underclocked if I use the USB add-on card. But yeah, that is awesome. And the primary hard drive is a 1TB solid-state hybrid drive. Secondary is a gaming drive, which is also another solid-state hybrid drive. And the other one is from my old computer. It was the Enterprise hard drive I got for videos and everything. I'm using it for data now, and it is a 1TB Enterprise hard drive, just regular HDD. It's not solid-state hybrid or anything. Over the side here, behind the toilet paper I use for cleaning my nose, I got 2 external hard drives. These also are ones I've already had. The one on the left is what I used for backing up my system. Any important files I put on that second the left hard drive there. And the right hard drive is the hard drive from my old computer, the one that died. It has the primary hard drive. I already transferred all the important stuff off there, then reformat the thing, and I might end up using that for unimportant things that I'm not super worried about losing, or I'll probably back them up on the other one first and then just weigh this one down. But it is a 2TB and the other one's a 1TB, so I don't know how much I'm going to be using this one on the right because it's kind of old. I'll have to keep an eye on it, make sure the only stuff put on it are things, that I don't mind losing. Over here, obviously, my 360 controller found a new home. The wires lead around and they go around the speaker there. And set that there from there. This cable actually goes to my preamp in there. I don't have that plugged in yet. I still gotta plug it in. I got that USB 3 brought around to the back of the computer. Yeah. A new keyboard. This is the one I don't think... No, I did not do an unboxing of this. I didn't really want to. I didn't feel like it. I showed this on last week's. I just showed the box of it. Now it's actually unboxed though. I actually kind of really like it. I'm still getting used to the keys. Some of them are a little stiff for my pinky or ring finger. Mostly shift. It'll get worn in eventually though. It's just real new. This light here doesn't always light up. It only lights up when you're on profile B. So I have to press that every time I start my computer up. And this light there is only there when I lock the Windows key here. The number pad over here, it's got a light that's always on. I think that's the number lock light though. Yeah, I set my motherboard to make sure number lock is always enabled. And the calculator button does work. It all works fine. And my new mouse. That mouse is actually pretty damn amazing. So anyways, now that I showed the computer, holy hell, what went wrong? What did I have to deal with? So, okay, building it, you wait a year to get a computer built, and you don't have very much money, and it cost around $4,500 in total. Yes, the system did cost me around $4,500 in total. So, putting it together, the stress of it, the day I was getting it ready to actually finally turn it on, I had to take a few breaks because every time I was starting to work on it, putting it together, doing a lot of work, I got sick to my stomach, like literally sick to my stomach. And after I turned it on, it happened again. I was just so sick from all the stress and everything that when I ate my dinner, I could barely get down a bowl of food, and it felt like I was going to throw up after because so much stress, thinking something's going to go wrong, it's going to fail, it's going to fuck up, and I'm going to be without a computer. I have to replace something, and it's just going to suck. But I got it up and running, and it seemed to be going fine. I got some Windows updates. Then I started running tests. It's like, wow, these temperatures are fucking amazing. I love these temperatures. That is awesome. It feels fast. This computer feels really fast. I was like, well, okay, that's weird. I increased the size of Windows by 150% because my monitor is about 2 feet farther away now than it was with my old computer. And yeah, okay. And because of the distance away, I thought that something on my screen was being all retarded and super tiny, and I'm used to my mom's computer screen in there too, and it's also really close, so it was my mind playing tricks on me. So I zoomed in 150%, and I started playing games. Like, what's going on here? It's all just really, really big. I don't understand. It's like it's 4 times or 2 times or whatever. It's some huge amount larger. Quit, Rock. So I eventually figured that out, and it was just because I was zoomed in. Windows apparently really, really sucks at their scaling when you want to increase the size of something. If you want to increase the size of text or anything, it doesn't increase the size. It zooms you in to the top left corner of the screen, and it moves the taskbar tray along with it and everything, which is a little confusing. I don't know why they did that. It's a little retarded. So I had to put it back to 100%. I was like, oh, now it's fixed. And now it took me a couple days to actually get used to the distance away and the size and everything, but now I'm used to it, and it's like, okay, this is fine. This is how I remember it now. So that was the first annoyance. The next one, I'm potentially still dealing with. I'm not sure. I think I'm dealing with a different problem now. But I was playing Borderlands 2, and suddenly the graphics driver crashed. I was like, what the hell's going on? And I went through a lot of stuff. The graphic was like, okay, maybe it's PhysX. I tried again. It wasn't PhysX. I tried without PhysX, and it crashed again. And then during one test, I tested, and graphics driver crashed. I was like, okay, fuck it, Alt-Tab out. Wait, okay, brought back up the driver, go back into Borderlands 2, crashed again about 40 minutes later, exact same time as the first one since starting the game. It's like, okay, that's weird. Go back into the game again. 5 minutes later, the driver crashes a third time. same gaming session and everything, except on that third time, when I alt-tabbed out, it locked up my computer and I had to force shut down. So that kind of sucked. And eventually I got into contact with Nvidia because I really couldn't find any information about it online. And they had me change a few settings. Mostly what I did notice, because I played Skyrim, and Skyrim always has VSync enabled unless you change the configuration file. So I played Skyrim, I had no problems after like 2 hours, like no problems. Like, okay, that's odd. Something that made sense to me when they told me to change settings is one of the settings was a power management option. So what it was set to was adaptive, and they had me change it to maximum performance. They had me change a few other things. What was it? It was... Let me check here. Got it written down. They had me change vertical sync in the driver to off. I think I can still use vertical sync in a game, though. I don't know why I would do that. I don't know, whatever. I don't think vertical sync is an issue. Threaded optimization had to be turned off, and triple buffering had to be turned off. But I think the main thing that was causing the problem was power management being set to adaptive instead of maximum performance, because when I was on Skyrim, obviously it's essentially managed power because the frame rate was limited to 60. Though, of course, Skyrim, I was amazed. I was running, I did an hour test on Skyrim at 1080p, no problems. And I switched it up to 4K, no problems, and it was 60 frames a second the entire time. I don't remember a single time where it dipped below 60 frames a second, which was kind of cool, at 4K with anti-aliasing enabled. So I'm actually surprised how well Skyrim runs now compared to back when it first released. It's crazy, really. Quit, Rock. But yeah, anyways, so after I changed the settings, I tested Borderlands 2 again. About an hour, no problems, closed it down. Then earlier today, played with PhysX enabled, because the first test I didn't use PhysX enabled. Played with PhysX enabled on high on Borderlands 2 earlier today. I guess technically yesterday, it's Saturday now, did Friday. I've been up since Friday, my sleep's in that weird area. But yeah, so I did that. And 2 hours, 20 minutes, no problem. So I closed it down, I was like, alright, great. Problem is solved. Then a friend, Craig, he's got a YouTube channel and everything too, he wanted to play some Borderlands 2 with me. So I joined. 10 minutes into the gaming, black screen crash. There was still audio and everything. Audio coming from speakers. Speakers are plugged into my monitor. So there wasn't a signal cutoff to the monitor. My monitor never shut off or went to sleep or anything. It never went completely blue saying, yeah, there's no signal. And I wasn't able to alt-tab out of the game. So I was able to go into the Windows menu, Control-Alt-Delete thing. And it took a few seconds for that to actually pop up. But when it did, I was like, okay, let's do what I usually do. Click Cancel. Then just right-click and close the game, or whatever happened to be crashed when I exit it into the menu there. So I did that, but as soon as I exit that menu, everything went black again. It was just black screen. I was like, shit. Go back into the menu. I can't. It doesn't let me. So that's the problem I'm dealing with right now. And I actually did look up information. Apparently, it's something that happens commonly. I don't know what causes it. I can't find any information that says what causes it. Craig said it's happened to him a few times before. The only way I was able to actually make it so it closed the stuff was force shut down by holding the power button on my computer. I wasn't able to actually close it properly. I just shut down my computer. So that kind of sucked. I sent an email to Nvidia asking help about that as well, mentioning it, whatever. I don't know if it's still driver related or what. They haven't really responded to that email yet. And I have had a thread up on their forums that I've been checking, and don't know, I think I'm really, really hoping that the power management thing solved my primary problem, and I'm hoping that the other problem is Borderlands 2 specific. People are also mentioning that it's happening on Borderlands pre-sequel as well, and I'm really, really, really hoping it's that game specific problem. It never happened with my old computer. I don't know if it's something to do with drivers or if Nvidia stuff just really sucks. So far they're not impressing me. I don't know why default settings would screw stuff up for me like that. The way it did, that made me have to actually change stuff in order for the graphics drivers to stop crashing. That is not a really good impression on me. I've only used one Nvidia card in my life before these two, and back then I didn't really know a whole lot. I don't remember a whole lot about it. I was just getting in computers back then. I was in high school. So this is basically like my first try in Nvidia, because now it's like I actually know a good deal about computers and I actually know what I'm looking for, what I'm doing and everything, and I'm not impressed by the problems I'm having with them so far. I never had that problem with my old computer, and it used AMD. Those drivers, a lot of people say AMD drivers suck. I actually say those were working great. I never had a problem. In the 5 or so years that my old computer was up and running before it died, I think I had one driver problem, and all I had to do was roll back driver to a different one because that driver just sucked. Out of those 5 years, one driver sucked. So, I don't know. And it was an easy fix, too. It was something everyone knew about, everyone was complaining about, and they came out with a new driver to replace that one really quickly, too. I think within the week, they had a brand new driver out to replace it. But so far, Nvidia isn't surprising me, or not surprising, isn't impressing me, I mean. And, I don't know, I really do hope the drivers improve. The graphics cards are still technically new, relatively, in the market, in technology and everything. They're still sort of new, so I guess within the next year, the drivers should hopefully get a lot better, because normally drivers kind of suck when hardware is first released and they improve over time. So, I don't know, hopefully stuff will improve, but so far, if that one problem I had with the drivers was my only problem I have to worry about, then everything is amazing. It is still going to be a while before I get playthroughs up and running again, but I do plan on doing some stuff in 4K, because I did test out Skyrim in 4K, as I mentioned. Someone mentioned to me that it looks blurry if you use 4K DSR, because that's what I used, was DSR. I don't have a 4K monitor or anything. I have a 1080p monitor. But they said it looked blurry with DSR, and I was, okay, that kind of sucks, but I tested it, and even with anti-aliasing, it looked perfectly clear, it was fine. So I will be doing 4K playthroughs and everything. Screen capturing with Fraps, it showed the correct resolution, so depending on the way Shadowplay records, because I'll be using Shadowplay in the future, if it records properly, then it should hopefully record that raw 4K image instead of the one it's actually outputting to my HDMI cable. That's what I'm hoping it will record, because Fraps took a screenshot of that actual raw image. And if it does work that way, then I will be doing 4K playthroughs, 1440p playthroughs, and 1080p playthroughs, depending on how well each one runs individually. I'll have to be running tests of them. And each one will be in 60 frames a second, because Shadowplay, 60 frames a second recording, which is awesome. Also because the frame rate hit reportedly is only 3 to 5 frames lower than what you get when not recording. So that'll be awesome. I still have my AVerMedia, but I'm only probably going to be using that as backup, and for the benchmarks I end up running right before I get playthroughs up and everything. But in 2 months I will have my new mic. Then probably another 2 months after that, I don't remember, I should have a new editing software so I can actually get stuff going, edited, and finally uploaded and everything. I won't have the money to get the new mic next month, because I gotta get a new water filter, I gotta get an HDMI switch, a lot of other stuff. Especially the water filter for my sink. I need to replace the one I'm using kind of badly. I drink water a lot during the day. I've not really been drinking a whole lot of Mountain Dew. If I get a Mountain Dew case, then I drink 1 can a day now. Mostly I drink water now. Unless my mom also happens to get me juice. I've had a lot of Sunny D lately. She still always gets me the wrong one. She always gets me the orange instead of just the tangy original. They still taste fine. But yeah. Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know, no, I don't do my own shopping. My personality disorder makes that so stressful that when I get home from shopping, if I have to be in that store for like an hour or something, I get home from that, I'm so worn out, not from being tired, because for someone who has depression and seems to never have any energy, I actually have a lot more energy than I seem to have. So going through the store and doing all that stuff is easy for me in terms of my energy consumption, or energy expenditure, I guess, whatever. And, because consumption, whatever, yeah, expenditure's the word I was looking for. But the stress of being around the people and doing all that stuff is so much that the last time I went shopping, I got home and I nearly passed out from the stress of it all. So, my mom does all my shopping for me. I just write her a list, or she just knows what to get me and she'll just pick it up if she sees it and if she remembers. So, yay, easy shopping stuff for me. Yeah, that's pretty much it. A long video, but most of it was explaining the computer, and I'm sure some of you are probably looking forward to seeing that. I hope, at least. Oh, man. As soon as I figure out the black screen crash, that's just the last thing, hopefully, that I need to figure out. If you know what the black screen crash is on Borderlands 2 and pre-sequel and stuff, I don't have pre-sequel yet, only Borderlands 2, so I don't know if it's going to happen to me on pre-sequel or not, if and when I ever get that game. But if you know about that black screen crash, and you know of a way to fix it, let me know. Or if you know that there isn't a way to fix it, also let me know. And if you know if it's common or not, or if you have any information about it, let me know. Comment below. It'd be really, really awesome to figure that out. That way the remaining stress of my new system will just vanish slowly over the course of a few days, which I'm going to be trying to do. I'm going to hope and just expect that black screen crash to be just something that happens on that game every once in a while. So yeah, anyways, that is the end of this video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next week or on some other video, but until then, I'll see you guys later. Bye.